What does successful retirement look like? Stay tuned. Welcome to this week's edition of Note School TV. Well, where every Wednesday at 11:05 Central Time, we bring you the most amazing guests as well as the most amazing content. And, well, this week is no different. Got a guy here that's an inspiration, and we'll bring him on in just a minute. But before we do, please go ahead and, go ahead and like this episode, right? Hit that like button and make sure and share this with your friends as well. We have heard a lot of you guys letting us know that, hey, these are inspirational. We don't miss an episode, and so share it with your friends, right? Give your friends that little update and upgrade every week. So hit that like button, share it, hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so. And finally, hit that bell notification so that you will know, when we're about to go live at 11:05 Central Time every Wednesday. Also, please continue to send in your comments. They mean a lot to Eddie and I. We read them and we go through them, and we love hearing from you. And if you'd love to know more about what we do at Note School, simply go to noteschooltv.com. or noteschool.com/TV. Again, noteschool.com/TV. And we'd love to have a conversation with you. With that, we're going to have a news story here. So I'm going to bring on, our founder, our chief visionary officer, all around great guy, my mentor, Mr. Eddie Speed.
Hello, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. It is a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day here in South Florida, dude.
Well, we're getting rain here in Texas, Joe. So that's been a rarity this year. So we'll take that.
We will take that for sure. Well, Eddie, we have an amazing guest today, and you're going to bring him on in just a minute. Before we do, let's pull up the slide there. So, Eddie, here we are. We have the latest report from Freddie Mac, and mortgage rates approach 8%. What about that, man?
Well, it's funny, about this time of year, we kind of always are taking the pause button and looking at the market because we have our big Note Expo coming, right? And next week or this week. And so we're right here at it, and we're getting ready to go. And we were talking about rates and stuff. And, Joe, here's the balance. The balance is, that we talked about in our market update, we've got two pieces of inventory. We've got houses listed and we've got builder houses. Houses listed are there's a shortage of listings. Yet, quite honestly, in the builder space, there's an overage. There's too much supply. Like there's a kind of a scary supply. What is definitely keeping the pause button on the MLS piece, as far as not seeing a gigantic surge in value, is affordability. And you can see it right here. And we keep talking about this. There's the note rate and the effective rate. The note rate is the 7.63.
Mm-hmm.
The effective rate, however, is what you effectively are paying in interest. And it's almost about 1% more. Now, if you want to sound cool like the mortgage bankers, you can say 100 bips, 100 basis points, right? And so that's the effective rate, and it's quite a bit different. It's certainly gone a little bit up and down this year, and so I think that we are going to see the effective rates. And once again, Joe, we know that the Fed has said they're probably going to pause, a drastic increase in rates and stuff. So, but we're going to see a hangover effect of this, and I see this in many different ways on the horizon. So, appreciate the research, and we are going to keep monitoring it.
Eddie, I'm going to drop off, come back on at the back end of the show, and you have a great interview with our guest, and I'll see you guys in a bit.
Awesome. Well, today we have a guest, and I would say this guest has become kind of the model of the Note School member. Not necessarily his exact story, but sort of a pattern to people that have invested in real estate, but they're at a point where they're either super busy working in a job, or they've already been super busy working at a job and they're now trying to have some peace in life and retirement. They're not looking for a business, they're looking for an investment strategy, and they're utilizing Note School in that tool. And this guy is just a wonderful guy that I think you're really, really going to enjoy his story. I said to him before we started today, the thing I appreciate him is he embraces our same core values, and just really a guy that I know you're going to enjoy. You guys welcome Mr. Jerry Jones.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, you know what they were thinking, right, Jerry?
Oh, absolutely. They're one to talk football.
Jerry, welcome. We are so glad to have you. You're just a treasure to be around, sir.
Well, thank you. I just have to say, in your opening comments, you said I was a model. I don't know if I've ever been called a model before, but I'll take it.
Well, a poster child. How about that?
Poster child. There you go.
Yeah. Jerry, let's talk a little bit. I want to kind of get through your journey, and let's start out with, tell us a little bit about your background professionally and kind of where you had been investing.
Yeah, professionally, I was trained, educated as a pharmacist, and I still actually hold an active pharmacy license. Out of my total career, probably half of my, let's call it my W-2 career, I spent practicing pharmacy. I did multiple different roles of pharmacy, not the typical role that you see behind the retail Walgreens pharmacy counter or Rite Aid or whatever, although I did that. But I spent a number of years in the institutional side, in the hospital side, and did practice there and managed some as a director of pharmacy. But I also, in my W-2 career, actually worked in the pharma industry. That was probably about half of my career too. So I had various roles there. I did mostly management and leadership roles, sales, marketing, operations, led large sales teams, which was interesting. And but since then, and actually even before I retired, I actually got into real estate and did various aspects of real estate, typical fix and flip, single family rentals. I got involved in not one of your favorite categories, but what we call land that's recreational, small plots of land where people can go and have fun, get away from the routines of their weekly life. And I actually got familiar with, deeds, land contracts, writing notes, which was good background for where I am today in the note investing business.
Yeah.
And I've also done a number of syndications, multifamily, large apartment complexes, also some land development syndications that I've been involved, or actually still involved in. And of course, through my career, I've got into the paper assets too, paper meaning Wall Street, the stocks, mutual funds, stock options, and various things there too. So that's kind of the short version of my career. One of the other things that I use in my investing is we refer to being the bank in the note business. There's also a cash value life insurance aspect where they say be the bank.
Yeah.
And you can actually use the cash value of your life insurance. And I have been involved with that and actually use my cash value to invest in real estate.
Well, you obviously, coming to Note School, you had a professional career. So let's just call it sideline investing, right? You had properties, you had invested in multifamily, you'd done all these things, right? And so you understood there was many alternative investments, correct?
Right.
What were you looking for when you came to Note School?
Well, I guess the best way to the stated, I mentioned my paper assets and stocks, mutual funds and stuff. That's something where you really have very little control. So by getting into real estate, I saw that there were aspects of real estate. Number one, where you could invest in different aspects of real estate where you could have more control, and you could kind of look at the different cycles of where the real estate market was, where you could have more control, where you could have passive investing, and kind of get away from the paper assets of Wall Street, where you had little to no control.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I was looking for, is something to be passive and get, let's say, more totally involved in my investing aspect of my life in real estate.
So it's interesting. There's kind of a balance between controlling your destiny, like owning a rent house,
Right.
and not so much controlling your destiny when you're investing in a syndication.
That's
right.
right.
So within the specialization of alternative investments, there's two ends of the spectrum, right? And did you measure that off when you looked at notes as a strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So
less work, more control.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's great. How'd you find us?
Well, I was looking at the larger real estate market and looking at where I wanted to go. And quite honestly, I came across somebody else who's been involved in the educational aspect for note investing. Went to a little 2 or 3 day event that they had, and it piqued my interest. But I thought, well, I'm going to dive a little bit more into this, and came across you and Joe and the others in the note school. And I found that, or my assumption was, or my decision was, that the ecosystem that we call it, the community within note school, is by far probably one of the strongest of any organization I've ever been in. So that was what attracted me to it, is the education, the community, and finding out really how to do this to the best of my ability.
Well, we've spent a lot of effort and energy and time focusing on that, and I appreciate your noticing it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not an accident, as you well know, and
Yeah.
and it makes a lot of difference. So, you know, I want to go back to something we kind of talked about earlier, and that is let's look back a little bit. Before you joined our community, before you joined the note school environment, the ecosystem, right? What were you facing? What were some challenges that you thought, hey, I'd like to better myself?
Well, the challenges were, again, lack of control over how your investment might work out. And although we have that in notes, I think there's many options, what we call exit strategies. If you purchase a note,
Yes,
many different options as to what you can do. With some of the other investments in real estate, that's not always the case. So that was, I think, one of the things that I really enjoyed about learning more about notes. And again, kind of being the bank.
All right, Jerry, we are going to get to hang out with you over the next couple of days this week at Note Expo. We are very, very excited about it. I'm excited about, the day that we're going to spend just with our members like you. And then obviously we got a couple of days with the whole note industry. And we are looking forward to that. We're going to play a little commercial here, and we're going to tell the people that haven't committed to come yet. We're going to tell them what we're going to be doing there. And I'm going to come back and talk about kind of now what life looks like after notes. We'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
We are at Note Expo.
It's amazing.
Phenomenal.
Just fantastic.
It's like recharging my batteries. I get enthused again. I meet a lot of other people in the business. I get a lot of ideas.
Connections. I've made so many friends over the years of high-level investors, high-level business people.
You get out here and see people who are doing
things on a level you're not there yet. So that inspires me.
It's been a great event. Lots of good people, lots of opportunities to network, lots of education, and the vendors are great.
Meeting all the people here from all over the country, wanting to know about notes.
And then the networking is just crazy.
All the people has just been stunning.
It's like coming home to a family. And there's a lot of smart people here, and everybody's welcome in. It's always good seeing familiar faces.
I'm sure it's going to empower me and lead to much better growth.
And there really is no other place you can go to figure out what's going on, like in the guts of the industry.
We're already registered, so we have put our money down.
All right, Mr. Jerry, as I like to say, be there or be square. Note Expo, sir.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time. We are so glad to see you. And I mentioned this earlier. You are a growing population in our note space as far as note school. And that really is, I think the market conditions have made real estate investors kind of refocus and look at what end of the business that they're involved in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things I haven't touched on yet, I mentioned that I've had rentals. One of those rentals actually this week, I will be turning into a seller finance situation for somebody who is what we call a penalty box buyer.
Yep.
So it's an individual who doesn't have W-2 income that he could prove to a bank would want to see to show that he's eligible to purchase the property. However, he does have income from other means that through underwriting, he can show that he actually can purchase the home. So
yeah, the mortgage industry left him behind because of underwriting, not because the buyer's a bad person, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So this gentleman and his wife have got ample income to purchase the property. So I will be turning rental income into note investing income, and I will be the financing wing, if you will, of the purchase.
We have seen more note school members convert existing rentals to seller finance notes this year than maybe any other era that I've ever seen, Jerry. Yep. And the real reason is just because you can't deny the math.
That's right.
People's mortgage payment is more than rent. If you're their mortgage company, they're paying their mortgage payment to you, right? And the good news is you're not having to pay expenses out of their mortgage payment because you're the bank, not the landlord, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
And this isn't true in every case, but a lot of the times, literally, and this sounds crazy until we take case studies and break it down, and you've seen us do this many times, it's double the income.
Yep. If you do the math, and which I did, obviously, before I decided to do it, that's what it shows.
Yeah. So a lot of people are finding out that they have the way less brain damage and time commitment of being the bank versus being a landlord. I tell people, Jerry, you can own 1,000 notes for the same labor to own 100 rentals.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can.
So that's pretty good, right?
Oh, that's excellent.
I want to emphasize this to the audience, Jerry. You are using notes as an investment strategy. You're not trying to go build a business.
Correct.
You're retired.
Yes.
And you're retiring well. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
You know, a lot of people are scared to do that, Jerry.
Yeah, and I don't know if they just don't dive deep enough into the learning. That's something I developed a little acronym for an approach that I had in business many years ago. The acronym is PPFK, and it stands for people, passion, focus, and knowledge. We're in a people business, as most businesses are. I mean, it's a people business. You're going to deal with people everywhere you go. You need to be passionate about what you do. You need to have focus to do it right. And you need to honestly increase your knowledge on a daily basis about different things that you do and different options you have. So I think people just don't dive deep enough into the knowledge it takes to look at note investing and see the benefits that it has.
Well, I think the market timing, you joined us, did you say a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
So you joined a year and a half ago, and the market was kind of at a certain state, but obviously we're getting much heavier into the note cycle of the business because of rates, because of underwriting, all those variables, right? And the thing that I love to say is whether your full-time job right now is being retired and enjoying life and such cool stories about stuff you're doing, giving back to the world, by the way, in many ways. But the other thing is we have people that aren't at retirement age and they've got a full-time gig. They're busy, right?
Right.
You can do the same thing that you're doing in retirement. You're just doing it as a strategy. The one thing that I wanted to really talk about that I really think is important, because I made mention of this before, is you don't have to possess my core values, but I think for us to be aligned, you have to embrace my core values, right? Which is passionate, benevolence, trustworthiness, right? And I think you've even used some of those words, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what's your family legacy, Jerry? What do you see from knowledge, experience, your actions? What can you do to influence your legacy?
Well, I think the obvious part of your legacy that I think most people have, or many people, hopefully most, I should say, is their own family. I have children, I have grandchildren. I hope to leave part of my legacy behind to them. But I also look at the future of our country, of our world, and that future is in the hands of our children. And so there's a couple of groups that I think are very important with regard to children, actually three. Two is related to their health. Orthopedics, burns, cancer in children. Those are entities that I like to invest in, give to. Then there's another aspect for once children get a little bit older, there's a college and a school here in the Ozarks of Missouri. They base it on working hard while they're going to school. They actually pay part or all of their tuition as they go through school by working. So they have a Christian background and basis. They have a hard work basis, morality and ethics and everything for these people that go through not only undergraduate school or K through 12 school, but also as a college. And so I like to get to that. So I think that's the future, not only of my family, but of others in the country. And hopefully they go out and impact the world.
Well, we embrace those ideas. We embrace, like a lot of times people think about leaving financial legacy. They just don't understand what you can do with notes until they see it. You agree with that?
Absolutely.
You can build incredible legacy with note strategies, and I think we're fairly good at that. And I feel like it's something that I was somehow taught a long time ago, and I almost feel like it's my absolute obligation to share it, right? Because we don't know things until we know it. I didn't know it until I was taught it. I just have now known it a long time. And now we've done it, so we've kind of perfected it. So I'm honored to get to share that with you. I think you're a very smart and a wise man. And so I'm glad to get to share that. But I think, as you said, more importantly, not just financial legacy, but legacy of how to live and how to live in a way that, is honoring. And those are, let me just say this. If I was defining who we thought we wanted to be a part of our family, I would want to pick people that are part of my family that not only had good, smart investing skills, but had good decisions about what they did with their money.
Yes. Yeah. One of the things that just wanted to touch on related to legacy, we talk about, you very well know this because you preach this often, but if somebody has a rental property and they're looking towards the legacy of that, would they rather pass that rental property onto their children, or would they rather pass along a note that has multiple years of payments of income coming in? I think if you ask that question, there's a pretty obvious answer. Probably the note is definitely the best way to leave a legacy behind.
More cash flow and less headache.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easier to manage.
Yeah. Jerry, you are you're an inspiration to us. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your when you're with us with Note School, and you don't have to hang out with us every week because you don't feel like you have to. We've got a kind of a white glove program where we can help people fast forward how they get information. And as a member, but when we get to hang out with you, you are always a treasure. Mr. Joe Varnador, what do you think?
Thanks so much, Eddie. Thanks, Jerry, for being our guest today. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all of you that watch Note School TV every week. If you would like to know more about what we do at Note School and possibly attend one of our 2-hour master classes taught by Mr. Eddie Speed and Max Keller, who is our Chief Market Officer, just go to noteschool.com/TV. And we'd love to register you for that master class. And so, we will see a lot of you in 2 days. This is Wednesday. We'll see you on November 3rd in Dallas. Well, it's where all the cool people will be, and that'll be at Note Expo. So we'll see you guys in a couple of days. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.